David Pecker testifying that during the 2016 election, he promised Trump that he would help suppress unfavorable articles about him, even went as far as paying for a story just to bury it.
All right, Pecker, the very first witness to take the stand in this historic case. Fox 5's Morgan McKay live outside the courthouse in Lower Manhattan with the very latest today. Morgan.
Steve and Natasha, it was a whirlwind of a second day, starting with prosecutors alleging that former President Donald Trump is trying to get locked up by willfully breaking his gag order, and ended with testimony from David Pecker, who says he helped Trump bury damaging information ahead of the 2016 presidential election. Scowling and furious, former President Donald Trump stormed out of the courtroom after his contempt hearing. Prosecutors are asking the judge to hold Trump in contempt for allegedly breaking his gag order on 10 separate occasions listed here. The gag order prohibits Trump from posting about witnesses and the jury. Prosecutor Chris Conroy said that they are looking for now to just fine Trump $1,000 per post, but says it seems like Trump is trying to get locked up for political purposes. But Trump's attorney, Todd Blanche, says that Trump is merely responding to a, quote, barrage of political attacks. Judge Juan Merchan says he will make his ruling on this at a later date.
To me, it's totally unconstitutional.
After a short break, the jury was brought back in for their second day and heard testimony from David Pecker, the former publisher of the National Enquirer and a few other magazines. Pecker testified that he considered Trump a friend and met with Trump and Michael Cohen, Trump's former attorney, in August of 2015. Pecker says he agreed to be the eyes and ears of the Trump campaign. Quote, I said what I would do is I would run or publish positive stories about Mr. Trump, and I would publish negative stories about his opponents. Pecker then detailed how he bought a story from Dino Sajudin, a former doorman at Trump Tower, who alleged that he knew of an illegitimate child fathered by Trump. Pecker made Sajudin sign a non-disclosure agreement, and Pecker told Cohen he wouldn't publish a story until after the 2016 election if it turned out to be true, which later he discovered it wasn't. But why would he do this? Pecker said he wanted to protect Trump and thought the story would be damaging for his campaign. Prosecutors briefly got into the Karen McDougal story, a former Playboy model who says she had an affair with Trump. Pecker said he also bought the story to kill it, but then the trial broke early for Passover.
And they're keeping me in a courtroom that's freezing, by the way.
Now, speaking of inside the courtroom, to give you guys a glimpse of what it's been like, the press has been allowed inside. They're inside for about an hour before court starts. It takes about 40 minutes to get through the 2 levels of security. Once you're inside the courtroom, you're not allowed to look at your cell phone. You're not allowed to read a book or a newspaper. And that's about the hour before it gets started. And then once it does start, you are stuck in that courtroom until it ends. So, for example, today, court didn't end until about 2:30. So press was up there for about 6 hours without any water breaks. The bathroom breaks were about 5 minutes, and you have 20 reporters lined up for the bathroom. So not the worst conditions I've ever reported in, but could definitely be a little bit better as time goes on. Steve and Natasha, back to you.
Yeah, a deadline crunch for sure. Congrats on turning that so quick. Thanks, Morgan.